This is Karnak Temple, and the very famous, this is the entrance point, and the very famous row of rams on either side that guide you in. This is most likely the original entrance, but it's been built on many times by many cultures. So it's not just one giant complex built by the quote-unquote Egyptians, but over thousands of years, and the way you can tell is by looking at the different construction styles. Now automatically what's curious to me is if you see those notches, those rectangular notches, over here on this wall, you'll see, here you see two rows up there, and here you see areas where there's only one row, and they don't match bilaterally. So that could mean later repair, one side compared to the other. What you also notice is you see this building style and then this building style. You see no mortar, and then it seems that you do see mortar. So this is probably the original. It's quite common at entrance points that an original gate is the original and that everything is built around it. But we'll look more and more for stuff like this. And again, having just walked through the entryway, limestone everywhere, but right in the path is quartzite, this giant block. Hewn with quite good accuracy, it looks like, if you look at the profile here. So this to me looks like part of the original temple. Again, we're looking for the harder stones because they're actually the oldest. The softer stones like limestone would have been later, when the knowledge of the ancient technology was lost, and they had to use, for the limestone, bronze chisels and stone hammers. Here we have our first possible example of lost ancient technology. This hole. I think I can see a spiral groove, as in a drill bit inside, but you need to actually be able to get an impression with some kind of latex, some kind of other material to find out. But at least using these calipers, and this is an approximation, I am not an engineer, but from an approximation 70 millimeters across, and we take it out and we move it around, and again it doesn't want to move, so it's around 70 millimeters, and then this way 90 degrees from there, and again it's around approximately the same. The gauge doesn't want to move that much, so clearly you can define this as being a round hole. Can't prove that it's done by a drill bit, would have to be here more than the 10 minutes we have. But this could very well be an example of where this stone had a pragmatic function, the hole had a pragmatic function. After this original civilization disappeared, the stone itself was recycled. The hole had to be simply incorporated into the next function, which may have been ceremonial. The hole wouldn't have been used, but it's still there as a testament to the fact that lost ancient technology could very well have been at work here. So this is an obelisk, and I'll do a close-up later, but what's more intriguing is Jerry, who was on our tour, found a really obvious example of a core drill in this chunk of granite. That's the approximate width. Trouble is it's recessed, so we can't get a good measure of it, but you can see inside there, you can see that it's relatively round. You can see where the core, it's like a tube drill. there's a centerpiece that came out, that was popped out, and if you look deeply into here, you can see the wall or thickness of the core drill was very small. And then here you see where the core drill actually changed angle or slipped. So that's a really obvious example of most likely ancient core drilling technology. Because why else would it be here? Why would someone in modern times have come and decided to pop a sample out? But it's not through one sample that you can make a big difference. You have to find many of them. Now this is really amazing. Mark on our tour found this. This is black granite, super hard material, which just seems to be decomposing from the inside.
What we believe happened here is intense bursts of microwave, concentrated bursts of microwave or sonic waves, altering the physics of the stone. This is black granite that you can crumble in your hands.
Which you should not be able to do.
And yet we're collecting the samples. We're going to send it to an outstanding chemist, Dr. George C. Bayer, who will analyze this and tell us how this happened. Now that's not natural.
No, this is a great example. Great example. So you see, samples will be sent to a laboratory in order to see what's gone on. And you can see how the surface is cracked too. Granite doesn't have a tendency, I don't think, to have deep cracks like this just from weathering or sun. But you can see look at the difference between the exterior and the interior. It seems like there was something that happened at the core of this stone that destabilized it, and now it's a complete pile of tiny, tiny little bits. Whereas once, it was quite a large, massive column. Amazing. So here we have another example. This is red granite, but you see the break is probably done maybe during Roman times in order to get a useful piece off of it there. But the way the surface of the granite has destabilized, where it's literally sloughing off like this, is not, as far as I have been told, common to granite. Granite doesn't crumble in this way. It's not the result of heat, of the sun beating on it. It's like some kind of energy was inside of it that destabilized it and is causing it now for the stone to just slough away. Now, to add to the idea that rose granite could have been used in some kind of sonic or energy technology, this obelisk section, if you strike it with your fist, it makes a sound. Could you please, could you do that a few times, please? You hear that? So that's why people discuss in the esoteric tradition, as well as in science, the fact that stone that had a vibratory quality, as in this rose granite or basalt or alabaster, was used by the ancient ones, in this case the pre-pharaonic people, to make structures because they wanted the vibration. And possibly they wanted the vibration because what they were building were not simply temples. They were building functional energy machines.